from displaying her culinary skills to making a serious effort to reach out to the public. Is West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee attempting an image makeover? In today's Political Adda, we discuss all this and much more with my colleague who is joining us from Kolkata, Sreyashi Dey. Welcome, Sreyashi. And we have our political editor, DK Singh. Well, let's begin the episode with the first question. Sreyashi, what exactly is happening? We have seen Mamata Banerjee making chai, pakoda, stopping at these, during her visit to a village she stopped by. Why is she doing this, and is there a strategy behind this?
For Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, she's always been a grassroots leader. Whenever she goes for her district visits, she tries and meets the people of West Bengal on ground. There have been impromptu changes in her schedule. She's a Z plus category protectee here for her security, and she makes unscheduled stops at villages. She goes inside the homes. She meets the people. If there's a baby, she will take the baby in her lap, take pictures. And of course, the latest one that we saw from Jhargram, a tribal-dominated district here in West Bengal, where she was seen making pakoras and handing it out to the people, the local people there. Now, this is something that she does it's an attempt that she makes to reach out to the people over there to understand if they have any problems. Yesterday, of course, when she was, just before she made those pakoras, a lot of women came up to her and said that they are not receiving tap water in their homes. And some even said that they had not got the homes that they were promised before elections. So it becomes a moment for the locals to reach out to the Chief Minister face to face, which of course otherwise doesn't happen. And it's also a moment for the Chief Minister to understand what's exactly happening on ground, because of course she does get reports, but to get a first-hand account of what's going on is important for her. But as today's topic is whether it's an image makeover or not, we have seen Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee do these things before as well. Like, she's been someone, even before she became the Chief Minister, I've heard senior journalists over here saying that she used to call them inside her house, make puffed rice for them, give it to them, sit, have an chat with them. In the assembly, when we have the sessions on, after every day's session, she calls all the reporters inside her room. We all sit, we listen to the Chief Minister. If she has any, important meetings coming up, whether she, we ask her questions there. And that's a time when suddenly she'll call for her tea, and she'll make sure everyone who's in that room also gets tea. So that's something in Bengali culture that we really have ongoing. No one comes in our house and does not get tea. That's like, it's a rule. It's an unsaid rule. But image makeover, if we see, Chief Minister Mamata's image makeover, I would say, had begun after Prashant Kishore came into the picture in 2019. After there was a poll drubbing, when the Trinamool Congress understood that the BJP has gained ground here in West Bengal and they have made inroads here in the state, which was unheard of before, because from 2 parliamentarians, they jumped to an 18 MP team here in the state of West Bengal. When Prashant Kishore came in, that's when we actually saw stark difference in Mamata Banerjee's output. We would see, before Prashant Kishore, we would see Mamata Banerjee extremely vitriolic against the Prime Minister. She wouldn't attend any of the central meetings in New Delhi. She would shoot off her mouth at every given second. But with Prashant Kishore's entry into the Trinamool Congress, we suddenly saw her addressing press conferences with a sheet of paper which she was reading out, which is completely unheard of, because Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is known to speak her mind. But she was following a script. She started attending all the meetings in New Delhi because Prashant Kishore had told her that you as Mamata Banerjee might have a face-off with Narendra Modi, but at the end of the day, he's the Prime Minister, you're the Chief Minister, you're head of your particular areas, and you'll have to keep a friendly relationship when it comes to the governmental ties. Politically, of course, you all can have a face-off. And then we saw a change in her approach. She was more calm. She wasn't passing out any harsh comments against the central ministers, including the Prime Minister. But then came the CAA and NRC, when we saw her go back to her old ways of going out, hitting the streets. For the viewers to recall, there was a phrase that she came up with, ka ka chi chi. which absolutely has no meaning, but it really caught on with the people at that time because that's how she started protesting. So she went back to her old ways of protesting against the central government, especially the prime minister, and that has changed once again right now.
Sreyashi, I have a question. I'm pretty curious about what all she cooks. You talked about puffed rice. I've just heard about pakoda. What else does she cook?
So basically, she on Kali Puja, which she does at her residence here in Kolkata, at her official residence, she cooks the bhog for the goddess herself. And that video is posted from the chief minister's personal social media handle. That's also her official handle, where she is seen in her kitchen. She lives in a very small house in Kolkata, unlike other chief ministers of this country. She cooks the bhog for or the prasad for the goddess that day. She also does puja. Apart from that, after Kali Puja, she brings in these homemade coconut laddus in the assembly, which is in like these big plastic jars, which is distributed across the assembly. The cops, the assembly admin, journalists, MLAs, people who are visiting her, everyone gets those laddus from her house. Those are homemade laddus. In Darjeeling, she was seen making momos. She's been seen making pakoras. But fun fact here, she's extremely health conscious. While she will make sure everyone else around her gets a taste of these homemade delicacies, she doesn't touch a single one of them. She only has her green tea or her normal tea. And there have been times in the assembly when the reporters are given these pastry boxes and we offer some to the chief minister and she just completely declines and she says, I do not need to have it. So she does her 10,000 steps every day. Even in the assembly, in case she hasn't got her 10,000 steps, after the session, she goes around the Vidhan Sabha with her security, completing that. So she's very particular about her diet, but when it comes to ensuring guests and other dignitaries around her, she ensures everyone eats before, leaving any of the official programs.
So she is a great cook, she is a lawyer, she's of course a politician. Then
she's health conscious.
She is a health advisor also. I've seen some videos where she's advising her party colleagues to lose weight. She's a poet,
singer. We've done a story on her.
Yeah, very, very versatile personality.
Well, in the course of this program, we will be taking questions from our viewers also. So let me begin with a question for you, DK Singh. Do you think the third front, minus Congress, which was being talked about earlier, is slowly and steadily losing its charm after Mamata Banerjee losing interest on the same? Arvind Kejriwal decided to stay away from that and no other leader is talking about it. Aditya wants to know.
Earlier it was like, the anti-Congress, anti-BJP, anti-Congress front. So some people wanted Congress in this front, some people didn't want. So for instance, now you have Aam Aadmi Party, which is trying to go solo, which is trying to become the real challenger to the Congress. Initially, when you saw all these efforts, you had KCR going to meet Mamata Banerjee, going to meet Kejriwal, you had Naveen Patnaik. So certain parties were trying for a non-BJP, non-Congress federal front. Now all those efforts have gradually kind of fizzled out. Now you see AAP is trying to do things on its own. AAP is trying to be a national party, which it may become if it becomes a state party in another state in these polls. They just shift. So that collaboration that was happening among parties, you don't see that kind of collaboration. You have KCR who has launched his own Bharat Rashtra Samiti by renaming his own party. Mamata Banerjee, after this setback in Goa, I would say, because TMC got just about 5.5% votes in Goa, but no seat. In Meghalaya, you don't really see TMC very active, although they got so many MLAs from the Congress. In Tripura also, you see those visits, but that intensity that the TMC had, the kind of expansion plan it had, now somehow Sreyashi will correct me, but that intensity is missing now somehow. So probably closer to polls, we will see you have Meghalaya going to elections in the next few weeks in Feb, so probably in Tripura too. So we may see more activity, but what I'm driving at here is that every party is trying to expand on its own. So earlier it was like they were trying to fight together. Now everybody wants to be another Congress because they see the Congress ceding its space So everybody is aspiring. So you have KCR talking about it, although I don't know beyond Telangana what he'll get. Aam Aadmi Party, of course, is trying to be the main challenger. So all these third front efforts for now seem to have slowed down a lot. Probably they have all realized, let's have more numbers before we actually start talking about third front or who will lead it.
Sreyashi, a question for you from Rishi Ghosh. Rishi says that my question is, had Mamata joined NDA after winning West Bengal in 2011 or even in 2014, would the situation of the state be in a better position than what it is today?
Well, of course, there are perks of being part of the central government. Right now, if we talk about the situation here in West Bengal, there's a lot of central funds that have been blocked. The state and the center are at loggerheads with certain funds and how they've been given out. If this was a BJP ruled state, or in case Mamata was a part of the NDA, probably that wouldn't have happened, because they would be in talking terms, and situations as these wouldn't arise because there would be a constant communication channel between the center and the state, which is not there at the moment here in West Bengal, because of course the BJP and the Trinamool Congress don't see eye to eye. They are at loggerheads. The BJP, of course, couldn't win the West Bengal elections here, which they were very hopeful about. So the Trinamool Congress is doing everything on its own. And there have been time and again issues such as GST, demonetization. All these things have come up as, a issue that the Trinamool Congress has taken on against the BJP. So if Mamata was a part of the NDA, probably the state would have been in a different, development plank, because of course there would be a constant communication, and the funds that have been blocked right now probably wouldn't have reached that stage, which is currently, we're not getting the 100 days job guarantee scheme. Some other schemes are also, the PM Awas Yojana has been blocked by the center because they have found certain irregularities, and those are under inspection by the center. So there is, of course, a lot of difference between the center and state.
Another question for you, DK sir. What position of Mamata Banerjee, what position she commands in national politics after those ED raids and after emergence of AAP in national politics after winning Punjab and Delhi, and considering the fact that TMC also fought Goa elections but failed to win a single seat?
Right, as we talked about, so Mamata Banerjee's the push that you saw, that everybody is talking about her prime ministerial ambitions. She has actually taken a step backward, and she is trying to consolidate her hold in West Bengal. Don't forget, BJP got 38% votes there and 77 seats. So it's although the vote share, I think the gap in their vote shares is about 10%, still BJP has emerged as a threat, and she has seen that threat. She is consolidating her hold there. Then she will try to expand. And as far as the national aspirations, of course those aspirations are there, but she is biding her time right now.
But a lot of people are also talking about, and one of our viewers also wants to know, that is it because of these ED raids that took place on TMC leaders and Mamata Banerjee's minister, have they also impacted the vote bank of TMC, and is that the reason that there has been some change of behavior as far as how they look upon PM Modi, how they their attitudes to a PM Modi, that has also undergone a bit of change?
I think sometime back I discussed this issue in my politically correct program. It's not the ED raids. Mamata Banerjee, as we know, she has been a ferocious fighter right from her young days. Now she was hit on the head. She was injured several times when she used to agitate against the left government there. So I won't say she has got scared. It's a very calculated strategy. You do not get votes by attacking Prime Minister Modi. And that reminds me, I was talking about her change of approach, because she gave a clean chit to PM Modi, saying that all these raids are not being, he's not directly involved, and the CBI is nowadays CBI is reporting to the Home Ministry. She was trying to target Amit Shah there. It's not that she has given a clean chit. It's what she has realized, what every party is doing. Even Aam Aadmi Party you have seen. Until 2019 Lok Sabha election, they just went after Modi, attacking him personally. Aam Aadmi Party drew a blank in the Lok Sabha election here in Delhi. In West Bengal also, BJP did very well with Mamata Banerjee attacking the PM. So attacking Nayan Modi doesn't really work. He's quite a popular face. You attack the BJP, attack its policies, it works. The moment you make Modi the center and you try to attack him personally, it often backfires on you, and that many opposition parties have realized. Even MK Stalin, you say, down south, he is not, he is targeting the NDA government constantly. The center versus state battle is constantly on, but he never attacks Modi. Pinarayi Vijayan never attacks Modi. So opposition leaders have gradually realized that it did not pay them to attack Modi. And that's why you see that change in Mamata's strategy also. In the last assembly election, you saw, while in fact the PM was attacking her personally, calling her Didi or Didi slogan and all that, she was not attacking him personally. And it paid off. So I won't say she is scared, it's just a calculated strategy which has paid for opposition parties.
Question for you, Sreyashi. If BJP is able to maintain its tally of 18 Lok Sabha seats or add more seats in the Lok Sabha elections of 2024, do you think it would be a kind of moral victory for BJP, and will there be any change in central leadership of TMC? Would Abhishek Banerjee take over from Mamata Banerjee, and will he be able to maintain party in Bengal in similar manner how Mamata Banerjee has been able to maintain so far?
Well, I think we've put out enough stories that there is no doubt that Abhishek Banerjee will be the heir apparent. It's pretty visible the way Abhishek has been touring different states. He was in charge of Goa. He's in Meghalaya right now as we speak, campaigning for the Trinamool Congress there when in the poll-bound state. I mean, it seems like after Mamata Banerjee, it is going to be Abhishek Banerjee next in line over here to take charge of the Trinamool Congress. But again, Mamata is extremely unpredictable. Things change last minute and there can be changes, and that's for the future. But as for the BJP, it's an uphill task. Even though they have won 77 seats in the assembly elections, they had a target of 200. The Trinamool Congress has come back with a majority landslide and the highest since they've ever come to power here in West Bengal. So they are very confident. As far as corruption is concerned, we've seen Narda, Sharda, we've seen previous scams here in West Bengal just before elections, and it did not affect the Trinamool Congress at that point in time. So we'll have to wait and see whether the SSC scam, which we have also covered extremely closely, has an impact on ground closer to 2024, because we still are far away from the Lok Sabha elections. For the BJP, of course, if they win West Bengal, if they add more MPs to their tally, which is going to be a very difficult task, because I have been speaking to certain BJP leaders, and a lot of the sitting MPs are not going to be getting tickets again because either of their age or they haven't been on ground enough. So there will be a rehaul when the ticket distribution comes, and that of course is decided by the central leadership in New Delhi. So the BJP will of course be very calculative in this Lok Sabha elections, because they would not want to lose ground here in West Bengal, and they're going to give a tough fight to the Trinamool Congress, and hence probably that's why Mamata Banerjee at this point in time is concentrating on West Bengal, which is her home turf, and keeping her national aspirations on the sideline, because if there's no point of losing your home ground and then trying to become a prime minister, that won't work. So she is consolidating her vote bank here, which is where the whole image makeover comes. She's not attacking the prime minister. She's speaking well about the RSS, where she's saying, RSS is a good organization. Everyone is in bad. So,
praises for the not RSS. Everyone is bad, yeah.
Yeah, so praises
please
for the RSS, no attack on the prime minister, giving him a clean sheet on record, on camera. Things like this, of course, is a very visible change in the way Mamata Banerjee otherwise conducts herself on a public platform. So right now, of course, the Trinamool Congress is looking at consolidating the vote bank here in West Bengal for the Lok Sabha elections. But we do have Panchayat elections early next year, which will be a litmus test for both the BJP and the Trinamool Congress to understand whether or not these scams have affected and been disadvantage for the Trinamool Congress and advantage for the BJP. We'll know that very soon.
In fact, while Mamata is trying to consolidate her hold on her home turf, you see the BJP sort of disintegrating. I mean, you have been writing about it, Sreyashi, how they are fighting among themselves. That momentum they had in 2019, even in 2021, that seems to be slipping away. That momentum is missing now.
That's why it's going to be a difficult task for them, because I mean, though their vote shares have gone up, we saw the civic polls after that where they did not get to win a single civic body here in the state of West Bengal, and there were multiple elections that were held. So it's going to be difficult for them. And of course, the fact that we don't have a sitting governor right now, we had seen Jagdeep Dhankar play a very active role here in the state, where the BJP would be knocking at his doors almost every day, going there, meeting him, putting in a complaint. We saw the post-poll violence here in the state, the governor going and visiting areas. But now we have a temporary governor, an acting governor, who's handling another state. He's also in Tamil Nadu, which is his hometown, and then he's in West Bengal for a few days. So it's a very difficult situation here in the state, but of course it's an advantage for the Trinamool Congress, because they have been vehemently opposing the governor's office here in the state of West Bengal because of the activism that Jagdeep Dhankar had taken up here when he was the governor. So all these situations put together, the Trinamool Congress, of course, looking at a big victory in the Lok Sabha elections from what they had back in 2019. And they're looking at reducing the BJP seat tally, which is going to be, again, it's not going to be easy for the Trinamool Congress either, because there is infighting within the Trinamool Congress as well. If we look at the Muslim vote share, of course, that is something that the Trinamool Congress is extremely confident about. But the BJP also will not be leaving ground so easily. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out closer to 2024.
In fact, the BJP is making headlines for the wrong reasons. I mean, your last story, for instance, when you talk about this FIR lodged by a man working for the IT cell of the BJP in West Bengal, he is accusing a man from the legal cell of sexually assaulting him with his bodyguards, and that is making news there. So that's why I'm talking about this momentum that the BJP had. They were putting the TMC government under pressure all the time. Now everything is about how they're squabbling among themselves, this infighting in the party, and how outsider-insider debate is happening.
The old guards who handled 2019 are no longer there in the party. They've been completely sidelined by the new wave of leaders who've come in, be it Shubhendu Adhikari or the others who joined after him. And, there's a new state president here for the BJP. So the ones who actually were responsible of getting those 18 seats for the party here in West Bengal back in 2019 are not actively part of the party anymore. So there's a change in guard, there's a change in their approach. And of course, as we have discussed earlier, the kind of infighting happening between the BJP, which is of course going to be an advantage for the Trinamool Congress.
Shubhendu Adhikari is expected to become the face of the party. He is the face of the party there, but he hasn't really been rally around the entire BJP. All the leaders and cadres at the grassroots, like somehow he may be the face of the party, but the entire party, he has not been able to take the entire party together.
And of course, his political career began with Mamata Banerjee. He was Mamata Banerjee's prodigy. I mean, we've seen for the longest time, it was so difficult for us to even imagine Shubhendu Adhikari in the BJP, because we've always seen him by Mamata's side. Like it was something like Mukul Roy suddenly jumping, into the BJP, and we've always seen them in the Trinamool Congress camp. Now, Babul Supriyo is a part of the Trinamool Congress, which is so difficult to comprehend, because we've always seen him on the other side, churning out songs against the Trinamool Congress, and there have been these changes. But of course, the BJP, there is infighting in the Trinamool Congress as well. But in the Trinamool Congress, what works for them is the fact that Mamata Banerjee has the last say. If she intervenes and she, makes two leaders sit face to face, and she intervenes and she stops any sort of infighting that happens, which is not the case in the BJP, because any such infighting then is taken up with the central leadership, who are already busy with other elections and other party work. So that's something that doesn't work for the BJP. But in the Trinamool Congress, when infighting happens, Mamata, she just needs to make one phone call and it's sorted here in West Bengal.
Well, another viewer wants to know about the third front. There have been so much talk about it, the emergence of the Aam Aadmi Party. Now that they have won Delhi, Punjab, they're eyeing Gujarat, they're eyeing Himachal Pradesh. What does it mean for the future of the third front, as well as Mamata Banerjee, TMC, and how do you see the emergence of AAP in all this?
See, the entire question of third front is kind of irrelevant right now, because any clarity will come only after the elections. And these people are also realizing now. They started attempts to force that anti-BJP, anti-Congress federal front. Then there was another attempt to have an anti-BJP front. It has not worked because it's impractical. And people are, because each of these people, I mean, all these leaders, each of them had their own aspirations. Mamata Banerjee has her own aspirations. Arvind Kejriwal has his own aspirations. But what has happened now is they have realized that they are being pushed to the corner by the BJP. Now, as regional parties are under pressure now. So it's not just about finishing the Congress. So Aam Aadmi Party may be trying to take the place of the Congress as the principal opposition party, but what all these people have realized, other regional parties, that BJP is turning out to be a big threat. So if you look at elections, say, regional parties share, the overall vote share, if you look at, say in 2019 election, or from 2014, if you look at that, regional parties, Congress has been getting votes in, say, mid-20s. In the last 6-7 elections you analyze. Then in 2014 and 19, they got around 20% vote, 19 point something votes in 2014 and 19. So Congress's vote share is there. They have come down from, say, 26-27% to around 20% in the last 2 Lok Sabha elections, despite the overwhelming majority that the BJP got. Congress has that vote bank. What is happening with the regional party is, regional parties' vote share, if you look at, regional parties used to get, say, something around 40%, 36%, 35% earlier. Say in the 90s, their vote share should be somewhere in the mid-30s.
Right.
Even in 2014 election, in fact, if I am not mistaken, their vote share was around 39%. From 2014 to 2019 Lok Sabha election you come, and regional parties' vote share has gone down to 26% I mean, that's what I recall from this CSDS Lokniti studies, that how the regional parties' vote share in Lok Sabha elections has come down by about 12 percentage points in the last 2 Lok Sabha elections.
Right.
And there you see BJP gaining. BJP's vote share has gone up from 31% to 37.4% between 2014 and 19, while Congress's vote share has been constant in those elections. So BJP is gaining at the cost of the regional parties. And if all regional parties put together, they've got just 26.4% votes. I mean, they have to think about where they stand today. And why this has happened is because the OBCs, in fact, they have started shifting. So if you look at the BJP, in 2014, again I am quoting from the CSDS Lokniti survey. In 2014, the BJP, about 22% of the OBCs were estimated to have voted for the BJP compared to 42% for the regional parties. This completely reversed in 2019, where you have 44% of the OBCs voting for the BJP and only 27% for regional parties. So regional parties are also staring at existential questions. So third front, this entire thing will come after election, but right now they have to take care of themselves.
Right.
As for the Aam Aadmi Party, fine, let's see what happens. Himachal Pradesh, they're pretty active initially, but they withdrew later. They started focusing on Gujarat. Now you would assume that if Aam Aadmi Party does extremely well in Gujarat, extremely well means, as we discussed in our last episode, it's not about defeating the BJP, it's about who gets more, Congress or the AAP. But even if AAP gets about, say, 10%, 15%, 20% votes, the Aam Aadmi Party would project itself, it will become a national party, of course, technically, but then it will project itself as a real challenger of the BJP in place of the Congress. But here is the problem. From next year onwards, you look at all the states. In February, you have Nagaland, Meghalaya and Tripura going to polls. Aam Aadmi Party is nowhere to be seen. After that, you have Karnataka going to polls. Aam Aadmi Party has no stake. Then in November, December, you have Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. Aam Aadmi Party is nowhere to be seen. Unless in the next few months suddenly they swamp these states, which is very unlikely. So the entire debate will be about the Congress and the BJP all through 2023. So how AAP is able to place itself in those elections, that will be important. Otherwise, if Congress does well in some of these states, the entire narrative of third front will change. So when you have people talking about a third front without the Congress, suddenly you will find the Congress leading this entire debate then.
Right. Shreyashi, if you could add, another viewer says that about the third front itself, that a lot was being talked about third front minus Congress, which has now slowly and steadily losing its charm after Mamata Banerjee is not being too keen. Arvind Kejriwal decided to stay away, and no other leader is talking about it.
Of course, Mamata Banerjee tried to play the glue in the opposition third front attempt. She went to New Delhi. She tried meeting Sonia Gandhi the second time. That wasn't happening. But we saw them come together for the election of the president and the vice president of the country. But then again, for the vice president election, the Trinamool Congress claimed that they had not been informed about the choice of Margaret Alva, and then they decided to abstain from it. And they, that press conference which I attended of Abhishek Banerjee, where he had said that, the Trinamool Congress is going to abstain from the vice president election. They seem to be very miffed with the Congress and the way things had happened without keeping the Trinamool Congress in the loop. So we have seen that. Also, importantly, after the elections here in the state, we've seen all these cases of corruption coming into West Bengal. And of course, it has put Mamata Banerjee government in a very tight spot with so much money being counted on camera, a minister, sitting minister of the cabinet, the second senior most minister of the cabinet being arrested. So when such things happen, it draws the attention away from the national aspirations and then puts her attention on settling her house first before, trying and attempting to become a national figure there. So she has been extremely busy in keeping Trinamool Congress's name intact here in the state, because it has, of course, affected the party's image. It has dented the party's image considerably because people have been talking about these corruption charges. Lots of people have come out and alleged corruption thereafter. So the Trinamool Congress, of course, is now trying to settle its own house here. And that's why such national aspirational talks have now taken a backseat for the Trinamool Congress. They're just trying to gain grounds in Tripura, in Meghalaya, where they had attempted to make inroads. Goa, of course, was a lost cause for the party. So they're just moving forward. And as Sir had already, mentioned some time back, that every regional party is looking at strengthening themselves first before taking on, the Congress or, making such national aspirations. And that's something that Mamata Banerjee is going by as well.
See, for Mamata Banerjee, the TMC got just 22 seats in 2019. If you repeat that performance and BJP is able to actually get about, BJP has 18 today, but if BJP is able to hold ground, and Mamata Banerjee with just 20 odd seats cannot be thinking of realizing her national ambitions. That's why she has to focus on West Bengal today.
Well, with this we come to an end of this episode. Thank you so much for this analysis, Shreyashi and DK sir. We will be back next week with a new episode.